Okay, so I've been thinking about politics and church. And we're trained up to separate the two, right? But as this whole stuff has unfolded with CK, it's like, just trying to see like, okay, was he a martyr or was he not a martyr? Um, I made a video about that and how I was processing that and the questions to ask. But this is what I thought about. I'm like, everything I stand on when it comes to voting and stuff is because of how I believe biblically. So they do go together. And when you look at the disciples back in the day, who murdered them? The government. And then I just saw this post about a Christian woman who got silenced because of her stance on vaccinations. So when you go against your government and they harm you, I mean, it's like they want to do harm. And if you especially are a Christian or have biblical thoughts and values and beliefs, you go against their agenda, then I mean, it is what it is. And at the end of time, the mark of the beast, that whole system, you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. That's the government. If you don't take the mark of the beast, if you don't bow down to them, if you don't agree with their agenda and do what they want, like, essentially. So it is about politics. If you look in the Bible, a whole bunch of politics as far as like kingdoms and turning the hearts of kings and God putting in certain kings to get certain things done, or evil kings and God using those evil kings and changing the heart, like King the Jonah who went to Nineveh. There was an evil king. They were worshiping Baal, not just the king but the people. Uh, Jonah confronted him because God told him to. God had a plan. And the king repented. He became a praying guy. He became a God fearing king. And this is actually a 2007 prophecy about Trump. Look up Kim Clement, the prophecy about Trump. Trump will be a trumpet. And basically, literally, God said, I will fool the people. A lot of people get God twisted. They think he's so super soft. God said, I will fool the people. And this president, like, people will think he's one way and he'll actually end up being a praying president. That's what the prophecy said. And the prophecy talked about he would be in there for 2 terms, which is why a lot of other people prophesied that too. And when it didn't happen 2 times in a row, see, God is funny. When we get prophetic word, it's so hard to like see it until it actually happens, because God speaks in riddles and like it's actually pretty cool. But sure enough, people thought, oh, those prophets were wrong. No, the prophets were right. He did serve 2 terms. And another prophecy that Kim Clement said was that he would basically a bullet would try to graze him and so forth. So in the other prophecy, there is a prophecy that is being fulfilled, that Kim Clement's daughter has been trying to figure out who this woman is that her dad, the prophet Kim Clement, used to talk about, because he passed away. Because even prophets don't know what they're talking about. They just know like the voice of God. God downloads, and the prophets will say what God is having them to say. And we don't understand all the time. And they thought this one woman was the prophetic woman that Kim Clement was talking about with her big, beautiful eyes. Well, sure enough, it is Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. And how I know that is because one day I was watching one of her videos and I was like, wow, her eyes are beautiful. Literally the next day, I heard the prophecy about Kim Clement saying she will have big, big, beautiful eyes and some other stuff. And then I started looking into it and I'm like, oh my gosh. And the other thing he said is, I will crown her. She was crowned. She was playing the role of Miss America or Miss whatever. I don't know what she got crowned exactly. I don't know if it was Universe or America or if it was a state, but she got crowned. So God's prophetic words are coming to pass, and he proceeded to say the things that she would do. So this is God having this stuff done because and people will say that they basically won't like her, but then they will like her because they will see the good that she's going to do. And I go based off of prophetic movement. This is all about God. This is all about God. That's all I care about. I wouldn't talk about politics, not one bit, if it wasn't about God. Everything I do care about, God.